Hey, it's Vinny DeRosa here, Cousin Vinny on the Cousin Vinny Network. But I'm going to be talking about some other things today that I normally don't get a chance to do because the last, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, we've been kind of preoccupied with all the craziness around the world. And we've been doing a lot of marketing for the Crystal River Mall here. And so today I want to take some time to give you some insight as to, I don't know, some maybe possible changes in your life, career changes, things that have occurred in the last 60, 90 days that you really never ever thought about happening. Hang on, hang on. Hey, Art, I'm on the air. You want to talk a little bit about real estate? I'm getting ready to talk about real estate in general, and from your perspectives, we were going to be talking about doing some meetings for some other real estate related companies and organizations. I got you on the air, so you want to talk a little bit? Okay, okay. Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Thank you. Thanks. Bye. So you never know what's going to happen. I set it up so I could take phone calls, and phone call came in, which is great. That was one of my objectives. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about real estate and real estate education as a whole. I've been doing real estate since 1974, and I've been a real estate broker and a real estate instructor since 1980, and I've had real estate schools continuously during that period of time and taught real estate. And you've seen me on here talking about the malls and all the things that I do real estate related. But today, I'm going to talk about that's something that's dear to my heart, real estate education. Some of you in the last 60, 90 days have been going through a kind of a come to Jesus moment. What do I want to do when I grow up? What are some other options in my life that I put back on the back burner and never thought about? Well, real estate is a career that, like I said, I've been doing for years. And what kind of sparked this in the last couple of days was that I've been getting more phone calls about people wanting to make a change in their career and ask me the typical questions of, well, what does it take to become a real estate agent here in Florida? So I'm going to give you some basics of it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. You can call me. The number's on the screen, 888-738-7381. If you got a question, you want to talk about something live, we can do that. I mean, I'm pretty much open to everything and anything. So basically, in Florida, if you want to become an agent, there's a 63-hour prerequisite course, and that's about a $260 course that I offer online. Now, understand that pretty much all the state schools, not state schools, but all the real estate schools in Florida are licensed by the Florida Real Estate Commission. So we all have to go through a process of becoming licensed and certified. All our courses are approved by the Real Estate Commission. So whoever you take it from, more than likely, they were approved. I have a letter of approval, which I have for each of my courses on my site. And it lets you know that we can give you the certificate, the ticket to go take the state exam. And the next question I always get is, well, how much is it going to cost me? Well, for about $500 or less, you can go from nothing to becoming a sales associate. You can start out brand new as a sales associate here in Florida for $260 the course, and another $200 or less in application fees, fingerprinting fees, exam fees, and textbooks. So $500 compared to maybe taking a class at the community college for a semester. You can get this done, and I've seen people do it, in 30 days. Here's the bad news. Right now, the state of Florida is not doing any testing. I've got a student of mine that is in the queue. He took the course, got his applications done, got his fingerprints done, got his application approved, and he is scheduled to take the test sometime in September. So, you've got plenty of time if you're thinking about making that transition over to becoming a sales associate. So basic requirements are the 63-hour course, complete it, pass it, your application, your fingerprints, and then the state exam. Once you pass that and you have that ticket in your hand or that license in your hand, then you're eligible to go to work. There's plenty of opportunities out there. You can work for real estate brokerages. You can work for builders, developers. So there's a myriad of opportunities in you becoming a professional in real estate. And people go, wow, there's so many of us. Yeah, there is. I think the last stat I saw were about 5,000 people per month before the craziness were taking the state exam. And I got the update today and I didn't even open it up. I didn't even look at it. I'm sorry, I could have gotten those numbers fresh out of my head. But understand that every school in Florida teaches basically the same requirements. There is a syllabus that we're mandated to provide the information from. So no matter what school you go to in the state of Florida, if they are licensed, all of their courses have been approved, and they pretty much follow a state guideline or outline. Most of the schools in Florida use Dearborn Education. And when you go to their sites, it may say RE Campus / so-and-so. Mine says Florida Real Estate University. We pretty much all use the same stuff. Here's what you get from me versus the other guys. You can call me. I've had students call me, that are not even in classes yet, who went to my website, and I had a call earlier today from a gentleman up in the Panhandle. Had a question about military. How do I get my license if I'm in the military? Well, there's not any real freebies. There's a couple of discounts on fees for your license and your application fees, but not the course. I don't do freebies or discounted anything. It's like going to a doctor and say, "Will you give me a discount when you do my appendicitis?" We're not a car dealership. We don't haggle on price. I'm sorry, but that's my price. These are my fees, and I will work with you. You can call me anytime. Where a lot of other schools and other instructors, good luck trying to get a hold of an instructor on nights and weekends. So prerequisite, 63 hours, application, fees, and take the state exam. Again, like the student told me, we're looking at possibly August for the exam centers to reopen. Hopefully in the next 30, 60 days, we'll see a change in that timeline. It should get a lot better at that time because they're starting to loosen up a little bit. But you know what? It's plenty of time to get through the course material. The other advantage you have by using me at Florida Real Estate University is you can call me. Like I said, the number's on the screen. If you got a question, you got a concern, you had a license maybe in another state, there are some things that you can do that I can help you expedite the process of becoming licensed here in Florida. So there's a couple of things that are a little bit hard to place in a website to where you can understand that information. So what I've done is I've broken it down into pieces. Call me, we'll go through your scenario, and I'll walk you through the process of becoming a sales associate. Same thing goes for the broker. If you're a sales associate here in Florida and you've been active at least the last 2 years out of the last 5, you can then now enroll in the broker pre-license course, take the pre-license course itself, and then sit down and go through the state exam process and become your own broker. Why would I want to do that? Whoops, another call. I'm just going to put that on hold. Sorry about that. You want to become your own broker because a lot of people say, well, you know what? I want to do my own thing. Well, that's the opportunity you have to do that. So getting your broker's license after you've been an active sales associate for the last 2 years puts you in another position where you could have your own company, or you could stay with the company you're with and maybe become a partner or a participant in the organization. So that's a couple of ways. Once you get a sales associate or a broker's license, if you want to go to work for a builder, a developer, a builder building homes, or developer building strip centers, malls, shopping, apartments, whatever it might be, you have a license to do that. In Florida, the reason that you have to be licensed is because you're providing a service for someone else, just like anything else in professions. If you're doing it for somebody else, you have to be licensed and regulated. Now, people ask, well, why do I need a real estate license if I'm going to buy and sell property for myself? You don't need a license. If you're buying and selling real estate for your own consumption and use for a profit for yourself, no problem. But you step over the line and start doing it for friends and relatives and acquaintances, then you fall under the purview of 475, which is the real estate license law. Yeah, they said, well, they're not paying me. Well, there was a phrase I heard many years ago: mere expectation of compensation is a violation. If they take you out to dinner, that's a violation. It's not worth it. So if you're truly thinking about making that shift, maybe this is the time. Maybe you're still out of work, or your business hasn't opened back up again, or you're really not sure what you want to do when you grow up. And believe me, I've been through it enough times. This may be the chance for you to kind of readdress it. It's an interesting profession. The beauty of it is, once you're licensed in Florida, Florida's your market. I mean, I'm not geographically restricted to Crystal River. And people go, well, how can you do the entire state? Well, it's all real estate. I mean, the data is all now computerized like it wasn't years ago. And today, real estate is local in nature, but it's not too hard to kind of get a grasp as to what's going on in a particular community. Residential real estate is, I heard this morning on the Upbound, applications are being put in again for loans. So it's starting to come about. And then seeing the report that Florida has become, again, #1 destination. I know a lot of people go, oh, we don't need any more people here. Well, if you've lived in Florida as long as I have for the last 50 plus years, understand this: Florida is not saturated. If you drive up the spine, US 27 or 441 down the middle of the state, there is nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but there are sporadic little towns in between those little places. If you drive 27 or 441 or 301 coming south, most of our population is based on the coast, West Coast, East Coast, and the I-4 corridor going into Orlando. So that's where the dense population areas are. So if you don't want to live in a densely populated area of Florida, there is literally thousands of acres of land and little towns, 20, 30, 40 miles in. Crystal River is on the coast, theoretically, close. And you go to I-75, which is about 30 miles from here, due east. From there is the Villages. And that's just a community plopped in between a quadrant of major roads. And then if you go north or south or east or west of it, it's farmland. So there are a lot of places in Florida that haven't been developed. If you've driven, south to Fort Lauderdale or Miami, taking 27, once you get out of some of those smaller communities, there's nothing. You go north on 441 towards Gainesville and Live Oak and going over to the Panhandle, there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land and small dotted little communities along the way. So again, everybody's image, Florida, is beaches, because that's what you see. You got the East Coast, you got the West Coast, and you got I-4. And that's where people concentrate. Why? That's where all the jobs are. So if you're looking for that opportunity to get away from a bigger city and you get a license, there are a lot of little communities where you can go in, hang your license, start up a shop, maybe if on your own, and open up a small local real estate company. You can do pretty well in a lot of places in Florida. With 67 counties, there's plenty of opportunities. So the benefit, again, of why me? Why Florida Real Estate University? I've been doing it since 1980. I had a pretty good success rate with people passing the state exam. I come from years of experience. You got a question and your broker can't answer it, I will try to answer it. I don't give legal opinion. I give you what the law says in the book. So, if you ask me if this is legal or not, if you're asking me if it's legal or not, probably there's some reason why it's not been clear in your head that it felt not legal. So what's it going to cost you? Again, $260 for the pre-license, about another $200 in application fees, fingerprint fees, state exam fees, and you're done. So under $500 per sales associate, and about the same for a broker, plus or minus $100, and you become an agent or a broker. Now, understand that once you become licensed as a sales associate in Florida, you're kind of in a probation period. For the next 18 months to 2 years, you've got to complete another course called post-education, which is another 45 hours, which is another $159. So you got to complete that in the first renewal cycle. And if you don't do that, you go back to sales associate. Same for the broker. Once you get your broker's license, you've got post-education, which is another 60 hours of education. And that's not a big deal. You can get through it over the 2-year cycle. So again, I think that if you're thinking about making a change and you've really, really seriously thought about it the last month or two, maybe this is the time to reevaluate call me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. I'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. And it's not that scary. Uh, Again, where else can you start brand new from the beginning and for less than $500 have a brand new career to work into? And the opportunities are endless and pretty much in Florida. I mean, there are 67 counties. I think at the last count, there was like 450,000 people who have a license. That seems like a lot, but it's not, because a majority of them are really not what they call active. The license has been had, they did it for a while, put it aside, and they're not really active. If you find a niche that you really enjoy, go do it. If you can translate what you've been doing in your career into real estate and make it adaptable, do that. I get a little frustrated sometimes when I get the call and someone asks, well, how do I shortcut this? There's no shortcuts. You just do what you need to do, follow the steps, and you become successful at it. Yeah, not everyone makes it in real estate. I've watched a lot of people come and go with great dreams, but you know what? It's a tough profession. It can be really tough on you and your family, and it's a major commitment when you decide to do that. Those who are doing it are doing well. And don't think of just real estate selling homes. You can get into management, you can get into appraising, which requires another license. You can become a commercial person. If you've got experience in commercial real estate, it may translate over to your profession of having a license. So if you got questions, you're not really sure as to whether or not what you're doing or thinking about doing translates over to a real estate career, call me. I'm more than happy to walk you through it, explain to you what I can do, to help you, get through that process of understanding what it takes to become licensed. Again, Vinny DeRosa, Florida Real Estate University. And it's been an exciting last 2-3 months. And I've got some more things coming up in the near future that I'll be introducing to you with my other company, my real estate company. This is the school. I have also a real estate brokerage company that specializes in special types of real estate opportunities, which I'll be sharing along as we go along. So again, if you want to become licensed, I'll be here to help you. If you want to go from sales associate to broker, I can help you through that also. It doesn't cost you anything to pick up the phone and give me a call. Again, this is Vinny DeRosa with Florida Real Estate University, and thanks for watching and thanks for listening.